everybody. I hope everyone is having a great time tonight. I see that the weather is getting better outside. I'm a little sad personally. Uh, but for everyone that doesn't know me, my name is Nikita. I'm in my third year at Robin Commerce doing an accounting and econ specialist. And today I will be your MC. Yeah. So before we start, I would like to thank the Ontario Trillium Foundation for giving PEV a grant that has helped us to expand our programs, which help young women, become competent leaders. And to show how you have aided us, I would love to invite two students that will explain how these programs have helped us. First, we have with us Emily Boyd. She is currently in her third year at the University of Toronto studying cognitive sciences and linguistics. And we also have Aubrey Jawhari, who is also a third year at Ryerson University studying marketing management. So let's welcome them.
Hello. This past school year, I've had the opportunity to partake in the STRIDE program offered at Kintore College through PEV. Through this program, I have learned so much, and with the focus on rebuilding together the strength of human relationships, I have been able to apply everything that I have learned to my daily life. For example, the importance of having the right people in your boat, and also of taking the time to truly see people. Through the talks and the workshops from many amazing speakers, I have learned the importance of taking leadership in building and strengthening the relationships in my life, by being the person to take the initiative and reach out to others and make the effort to show my appreciation. It is crucial in a post-pandemic and digital age to reach out and connect with others in order to make the world an even better place than it was before. I was also fortunate to connect with a mentor through the STRIDE program who is excelling at the career that I hope to one day pursue, which is speech-language pathology. I was given a lot of helpful advice that will enable me to be a leader in the professional world. For example, we discussed the importance of having flexibility, not just in treatment plans for patients or in scheduling, but also extended to leadership in being able to adapt and work on a team. The opportunities that STRIDE provided were invaluable experiences, and I am so grateful to Kintore and to PEV for providing such amazing opportunities that empower young women. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Aubrey, as Nikita so mentioned. I'm actually also in STRIDE, but I also mentor and I also really help young women as well as much as they help me. So through these programs, there's a specific club, it's called Polaris. They have young women from grades 8 to grade 10, and I had the opportunity to give them a talk about friendship. I was able to share my experiences from high school, from my first year of university, and valuable things that women taught me. It's a really valuable thing to be able to pass it down to younger women so that they can grow up in a world where they feel very empowered. I also want to just thank PEV for always being so supportive for us young women and creating an environment in which we can grow and be empowered.
Thank you, Aubrey and Emily. It's really great to see how much you guys have grown and how much you have gained from PV and Kintore College. Next, we have a special guest who is a mentor in our STRIDE program and a guest speaker. We have Tammy Peterson. A little bit about Tammy Peterson. Tammy was raised in a small town in northern Alberta. After graduating from high school in 1979, she moved to central Canada, where she worked, studied, and was married in 1989. She lived for many years in Montreal and Boston, but now resides in Toronto. Tammy raised 2 children with her husband, Jordan, and has 3 grandchildren whom she adores. Tammy attended university in the 80s and 90s, studying kinesiology and visual arts. She owned and operated a massage therapist business for 30 years. She has taught Hatha yoga and continues to practice Hatha and Kundalini yoga on her own. Tammy has extensive experience in home renovation, having worked as a contractor to renovate their home in Toronto. She also spent 3 years working as a logistics consultant for her husband, Jordan, organizing his daily itinerary on his sold-out worldwide book tour. They traveled the world giving talks in 140 cities throughout USA, Canada, UK, the Scandinavian countries, Spain, Portugal, Australia, and New Zealand. In 2019, she suffered and recovered from the near fatal illness. This experience changed and deepened her understanding of how life should be lived. This year, she toured the USA and traveled to 50 cities with her husband. This time, she opened the lecture at many shows with her personal book reflections on the chapters of the book in question. So I would like to invite Tammy Peterson.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. So I've been working with Queenie and coming to Kintor for a number of years now, and I've been a mentor for 2 years. The experience has been good. I've worked with the same student for 2 years. And I'd like to just say a couple of things that I noticed about mentoring this year. First of all, the student thought that I would be busy, and so she didn't contact me until later in the year. And I wouldn't have signed up to be a mentor if I wasn't looking forward to working with her. So that's something that students have to realize, that if somebody offers their services, to take advantage of them. I mean, if it's up to me to say that I'm too busy. And so that's something that kind of happens if you're an agreeable person, if you have a tendency to be hesitant to say what you want. This is a challenge for you, for sure, and that's fine, but to recognize the challenge and to try to step up when it is that you need something. Anyway, we've had weekly meetings since she did contact me, and they've been very one of the things that we for her course is, but we talked about getting the work done, and if she was getting the work done, also who she was working with. So we talked about doing the work and whether it would be useful to do the work alone or with other people. So as I was saying, the interesting thing was we talked about family dynamics. We talked about homework regimes. We talked about what she was going to do with her degree, what she was looking for, what her goals were past university, and also talked about family and whether she was looking forward to getting married and having children. And, you know, because we're women, that's a big part of our life, is to have a family and to have children. And as it turns out, women who are well educated, their children are usually better educated. It doesn't correlate with men's education, but it correlates with the mother's education. So that's very interesting. It's really good to be educated and to strive to be successful. But I think that our society has a hard time telling us how important it is to be a mother and how fulfilling that is for us. And it is ultimately very fulfilling. And so as women, we have to balance our lives and make sure that we take into consideration everything we have to do. And your mentor can be helpful to talk to you about that, because, you know, I'm 60 years old now, and I've had a family, and I've had a career, and I've been married for 32 years. And so, you know, those are questions that you can ask, those are discussions you can have. And I'm sure that I'm no different than any of the other mentors that are out there. We want to be as helpful as we can be. And it was really fun. I still meet with my my student every week, and I'll meet with her until she's done. And I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to talk about whatever she wants to talk about. So I wish you all the best in your studies, and I hope that you achieve what you're looking for, and I hope that you dream. I hope that you dream up and let your mind, let your imagination go, and allow yourself to dream up the things that you don't even think are available to you, because the only way to attain a goal is to have a goal. And so it's better to think about it and to make a plan. One of my really good friends said, a man with a plan beats a man without a plan. And I think that that's pretty accurate. And with that, I'll pass the microphone back. But thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak with you again. And I look forward to coming and visiting Kentor sometime.
Hi, Tammy. Do you have a few minutes for questions?
I do.
Does anybody have any questions for Tammy? Oh, no, come here.
So I was wondering, how would you suggest students reach out to you, or how would you encourage them to reach out, I guess?
So I'm not sure what information is given out at the beginning. I imagine it's an email that is given out, but it might, I can't remember if I gave my phone number as well. But the first thing to do is just, send a text or an email and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and we have been, put together in this mentor situation, and I'm really looking forward to meeting with you, and let me know your availability. And that's all you have to do. And then I would send that weekly. If you don't get any response, I'd send it weekly until you get a response. And if you don't get a response, then you have to contact Strive again and find someone else. But yeah, make a good effort. And I think weekly reminders aren't pushy. That's not pushy. So you could do that too. Thanks for the question.
We have another question from Kati.
Hi, Tammy. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can.
Hi. I'm wondering, I guess what your remarks are kind of interesting for me, but I guess I think that we should understand that maybe not everybody is called to motherhood. But I guess more broadly, what is your opinion on feminist economic policy? So making sure that women have equitable resources to not have to choose between a career and motherhood.
So there's a small percentage, a very small percentage of women who aren't interested in having children. That's true. The majority of women do want to have a family. And that's also true. If people want to spend their lives in a career as a man would do, that's fine, and there are, women and men, they are exactly the same in IQ. Their abilities are very much the same. Men are a little bit, their normal distribution is a little bit wider, so they are, a little bit more trouble at the bottom end and a little higher functioning at the top end. But in the middle, men and women are very much the same in everything they do. So women can attain what men can attain, that's for sure. And I think that there's lots been done so that women have access to what men have access. So I would say that feminists have attained what they set out to do, which is great. And so now it's really up to women to decide what they want to do, what's in their heart to do. And I loved my career. I still continue to work now in my after I've had my children, which has been probably the most gratifying time of my career, because once my kids left home, then I was free to be, to do and go wherever I wanted. And so there's time when you have children, those first 3 years, or even the first year, is really intense and really up to the mom. But once the child, even if you have your children at home, once they're 3 years old, they start to be pretty social, and they don't need constant care. they only need constant care for about the first really 9 months of their lives. So in terms of a feminist idea of work, a woman can work without hardly taking much time off, you know, because there's a big, you can have a nanny, you can have, you can put your kids in daycare. There's lots of ways to also have a family and have a career. And those things are already in place. They've already been established. And, you know, there's 70% women in universities now and 30% men. So I don't think women are at any disadvantage for what they want to do. You know, in places that are very equitable, like the Scandinavian countries, where they have tried to minimize gender differences, that's where the most difference is between engineering and nurses. There are less women in engineering in the Scandinavian countries, and there are fewer men in nursing than they are in the rest of the world. So, you know, things work out how people decide to do, not how we compel it to happen. And I think that's something that we have to be well aware of, is the only way that you can go through your life is to find out what you are inspired to do by God, because God is the driver, and you know, and we're the actors in the play. And anything else that we decide to do, if we're thinking that we're going to change the world without consulting our conscience, you know, we got to make sure that we're going in a way that is good for us, that's good for our family, that's good for our community. And I don't know what else I can say about that. I think that's about all I can say. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Tammy. Any other questions for Tammy? Oh, Isa online has a question for Tammy.
Hi, thanks. I'm Isa and I'm from Guatemala. And I work with teenagers, girls. So I was wondering how I can help to girls to aspire to do greater things, because like sometimes I see that they're too caught up in their own bubbles, like, oh, no, well, this, thanks.
And how old are they? You said they're junior high kids?
Yeah, they're like 16, 17 years old.
Okay, 16, 17. Okay, well, that's a time of, you know, they're almost done their high school. So they are starting to think of what they're going to do once they're out of school. And so that's a really good time, a transition time. That's a really good time to investigate, you know, what you think you'd like to do with your life. And so how you would change the situation that you have now into something else. And, you know, my husband has a program called Self-Authoring. And it would be an interesting program for you to look at. It helps you to plan your future 3 to 5 years down the road. If you were somebody who had your best interests in mind, who that would be. So it helps you to plan who that person would be. And it helps you discover what your faults are, what your virtues are. There's 3 programs. There's past authoring, present authoring, and future authoring. Future authoring is the only one that I did. I did it when it was pencil and paper. And I thought it was more helpful than anything I'd ever done. It didn't just take me to what I wanted to do in my career. It helped me with my relationships. It helped me with my health, you know, so it was whatever it was that was on my mind that needed some attention, I could apply to this program. And the people who've taken this program from my husband at the university say that it's the course that's changed their life more than anything they've ever done. So you go to selfauthoring.com, and you don't need any anybody to administer it or anything. It's a very self-done program. And so it helps people to dream. It helps people to dream about who they might be. And if you have a good imagination, it's even easier to let your imagination go and not judge yourself too badly about what you can dream up, about what you want to be. And I was funny because I dreamt up a dream, and then 20 years later I realized I'd attained that dream. It didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like, but it had the components that I'd asked for in it. But it wasn't exactly what I'd seen, but I did see that it was very helpful. And so I think really your best bet in helping these girls, kids who these self-authoring programs were tried in a number of different institutions. One of them overseas in the Netherlands in a business school with people who were immigrant men, immigrant women, and then women and men that were from the Netherlands. And the women from the Netherlands had the highest marks in the business school, and the migrant men had the lowest marks in the migrant school. And they put them through the self-authoring program, which only, I think, took an hour and a half. I would take much longer. I took about 4.5 hours, and I slept during the middle of it. So I took it for a long time, but you can do it quite quickly and quite badly. And their marks caught right up to the women, the Netherlands women, after 1 year. So and I think having a plan, right? Having a plan, having goals, it gives you insight into who you are, and it gives you hope that life can be better, and it gives you, and you have steps, right? Because you design each of the goals, and that way you can have reminders sent to your email, and so you can take as tiny steps as you want, and you can still make progress. And that way no one's telling you what to do. You're thinking it up yourself, and that's the only way that you can really go forward in your life and have meaning, is to find it from yourself, right? And to find it from how you're inspired. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any
You're
other
welcome.
questions? Thank you, Tammy. By the way, congratulations on the birth of your new grandchild, Shirley Beth.
Thank you. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to go over and meet her right away.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to now
And,
invite Diane to just say our concluding remarks.
I'm going to not take up too much time. I'm Diane Matthew, and I am on behalf of I'm a member of the board of directors of PEV. And on behalf of the board, I just want to close out our get together this evening with a heartfelt thank you to everybody who's here, to Tammy for taking the time to join us and giving us some great inspiration about being a mentor, and giving some strategies for our mentees out here about how to make the most out of their experience. And I know personally, I was very fortunate in my life to have about 3 or 4 women who were tremendous mentors to me. And yes, take advantage of those opportunities because it's invaluable. To all of our volunteer mentors and tutors who may be here, we heard of one who may have been involved with weekdays or with Polaris. The impact that you have on high school and for our other mentors for the university women is truly amazing, as we've heard from the testimonials that were given and from the feedback that I'm sure many of you, if you've been involved, have received for your mentees. The time and energy you've put in has reaped the rewards of developing our potential leaders, and you have been leaders by example. To our participants who have dedicated themselves to work and studies, and I know some of you are still going through exams, some of you just finished exams. This is work that's essential to building your self-confidence. So being part of these types of activities, participating in projects like Stride, will position you to be a good leader. And whether that is a leader of renown or it's a leader within your circle of friends and family, that you, by your example, by attending to small details of your work and activities, that's showing leadership. And I wish you all every success. I want to thank, she's not here tonight, but Juliana for her coordination and promotion of our programs. and to see the growth that we've seen in this past year and the adapting of our programs to, I know what, as we're seeing this evening, what will be ongoing hybrid models as we move forward. To Queenie for her leadership in supporting Juliana and all of her untiring efforts with development, et cetera, and in putting this evening together. And of course, we could not have done this at all without the support of the Ontario Trillium Foundation grant, which we're also here and recognizing for tonight. And I want to thank the OTF for this marvelous opportunity that they've afforded us in being able to develop and expand our programs further. And to all of you, I want you to keep spreading the word about our programs, about Kintor. We're very proud as a board about what we are seeing and what we're seeing in women developing from these programs, to continue to be enthusiastic mentors and tutors, as well as in talking to people about the financial support that we need also. So I want to say good night to everybody and thank you all again and enjoy your summer.